Sorry I missed the last couple calls, guys. I just been in real life stuff.
Wait, who is
You know, it
this?
is all. This is my Callium right now, and so yeah, exactly. I know that time moves fast, so it probably feels like about a decade since yet we've met, but I promise you, I'm still the same old Gachi. So that's good stuff there. I've got meeting minutes for us all here. Hype news, Simtimo, the GMI merch store, big deal. It's not a small feat. Every guild doesn't have merch yet, and he's kind of front ran the whole thing and done all the groundwork and logistic work and all of the work to make it available to us. And so it's a really cool opportunity to be a piece of history. And if he dies before you, it'll be really historic. So think about that. GMI parcel acquisition, we snatched up a really sweet gig on a Spacious. We have the Spacious now directly behind the No Futuristic Smoke Shack, which is directly behind the GMI 3 Reasonable Row Estate. So, I mean, there's a lot of parcels in the Gachiverse. It's the odds of finding the exact one you need at a price it was the actual floor at the time that we picked it up. So, and I forget who that was. Someone will have to help me out, but somebody came into the
I think it was
server.
Hot Curly Fry. Or no, it was GGGGGBG.
There you go. Oh, good. So they came by and dropped the alpha and said, "Hey, this is y'all's neighborhood. You should probably pick this one up." And so we did. And so cool, really cool, smashing deal, I think. So good stuff there. One other little thing for the hype news. I don't know if anyone saw this, but there's a new thing now, .swoosh. And so this is like Nike NFTs on Polygon, and so kind of just like what all the other big names that we're seeing showing up. But it was neat because I was reading through their press release, and it as I was reading through it, I was like, oh, it's funny, it's fake gachis. They're like doing a community sourced art program to produce virtual design, virtual fashion. So it's like, hey, we'll have like a community queue that people can submit things to, and then these objects will be reviewed, and then maybe they can be sanctioned, and they'll be like official Nike swoosh virtual assets. I'm like, that's funny. They see the value in the structure, so we're on to something here with this. So congratulations to the brave warriors who have been in the fake gachis trenches, because that shit's been wild. Project updates, GMI Estate, just talking about what we talked about already, just picking up that extra spaces. There's some discussion, I think, Hefe, maybe if you want to jump in here, that we were talking about possibly like some purses of Alchemica, or maybe some installation rushes on farming gear or whatnot. What kind of opinions are on your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share some of my opinions and get some of yours. So we, like you said, we acquired this parcel through I think it was 375 Ghost. And right behind, like, perfect location. You couldn't ask for a better location. It even has a little road, like a little alley road in front of it. So it's so awesome. I think we should make this our GMI art gallery / showcase. I think it would be kind of cool to showcase some of our pieces and some of our. I'm hoping this next week, I can work with Coder Dan and get at least some of our work whitelisted. I know Bin Lagan has some work that he's put forward. I think Gotchika, Kindred Spirits, and we have many different pieces from the Art Summit. I'm gonna try and get as many of those whitelisted as I can. It's up to their discretion, but I think many of those are going to make it through, or most of them, and so I think we can actually kind of display some of our current works, and we're going to be probably creating some of our own fake gotchis. In the near future.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be great. I think we should focus on trying to make it an art gallery, but also, with the new Alchemica changes, we might want to think of getting our farming setup going sooner than later, with the current prices of Alchemica, because yes, they are pumping right now. We don't know how long that's going to last, but they're still relatively cheap right now where they're at. Yeah, exactly. I agree. No future. But I think even at this point, they're kind of flatlined, and it's pretty reasonable to scoop up a little bit of Alchemica right now for our own building purposes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. It sounds really good to me.
Yeah, it's super cheap, so like you can't, the downside risk is very low.
Yeah, we're closer to 0% than 100%.
Let me ask though, because we're talking about the new parcel. Are you gonna create a GMI bounce gate on the new parcel for the art gallery, or keep it the current one on the M?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the parcel's probably going to become its own HQ proper, and that's going to actually become the primary property and kind of the crown jewel of our estates. And the GMI front row will just kind of be this grandfathered in, like a OG heart.
It's a billboard. It'll be a billboard essentially, I think, one
Yeah,
day.
because like I don't want to spend any assets like upgrading any of those parcels in any real way at this stage. Now the reasonables, I'm like, let's just go straight to the spacious and at least let's build out there till we're happy, and then we can worry about reasonables if we need to. But I think that this, being an organizational consideration, I think that the spacious are kind of the only real way to go.
I did add one NFT display to the eye, and that was I had the Chubby Gotchi piece in mind because I think GMI doesn't have their own piece yet, but I think that one represents it represents us.
We could just say that that's like 100 members of GMI in that portrait.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, all of that's still fine and good, and we can maybe even add NFT displays to the other two reasonables as well, just for that front street action, like you're mentioning. They need wins the installation of an NFT. It's just an arrow, so on the roadside it can just be pointing up, and so that way people know this is where they go up and get to the big spacious estate. Cool. Okay, that works for me. You had, or actually, I don't know. Maybe I had this note on here. The buying the guild, the fake gacha cards. Are we feeling like this is something that we need to do sooner than later? Is it feel like the market's developing in the favor of patience, or what do y'all think?
I'd say DCA. Like, take a little bit, buy like 2 or 3 right now. If they drop in price, like just go, week over week, buy a couple a week. Because if they do drop,
That's not a bad idea.
Buy a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, exactly. I have an acquisition target in mind for GMI. I was thinking about 10 would be a good starting point to have, but not to buy, like you say, no future, not to buy all 10 at once, but to say let's find out, let's have some price targets. Maybe we buy 2 or 3 at 60, and then we buy maybe 2 or 3 at like 50 or 40, and then we keep some dry powder aside, maybe half the dry powder for, if the market really capitulates on cards, and we can scoop them up at 10 like Bearded Sing, right? Like I'd love to see him at 10. So yeah.
Just advise that somebody should keep an eye on the market and the queue, because like I didn't realize so many pieces are going in. So there is probably like a burn rate to consider here, because it seems to be burning pretty fast. So prices might move based on that.
That's a really good point too, because you're going to have lots of entities that are going to try to just have reserves that aren't going to dive right into these. So like the actual circulating availability of the fake gacha cards might be much more aggressive than what was minted. Cool stuff. Okay, cool. There we go. Good stuff there. Just
Al
I was
saying
listening.
that. Sorry, I was reading the comments there. Al was just saying that they're already down to 54, so it wouldn't be a bad idea just to, even at this price point, to grab maybe like 2 or 3, and then let's keep an eye out for the rest.
That sounds reasonable, Al.
Yeah, I agree with Al's sentiment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure.
that looks.
Yeah.
Well, we're holding you to it just to guess my ass. This is sanctioned
it.
per
No,
Al.
Oh, good.
There you go. Look at that freaking mug.
Nice.
It's when we turn digitals into the physicals. It's when art becomes real life. I heard you guys chit-chatting on D420. I think it makes really good sense to make a dedicated programming slot for the art review, for the Q review. Maybe it's just that, the fake gacha Q review, fake gacha feelings. I was throwing around some words in my head, but maybe it's just the second half hour, or the second hour of y'all's already slotted D420. So the first hour is just y'all BSing, and the second hour is dedicated to let's Mystery Science Theater 3000 into the queue.
Yeah, 100%. And then I think this is an opportunity for us to reach out to some people who are in the queue currently, like they're just launching pieces, to say, hey, come over here and launch with us and let's have a conversation. But like, a very stoned and honest conversation. We're not like destroying people's egos and shit, but we'll talk about their art.
For sure.
Nookie on this, because it's going to be a pay-per-view event if we get Nookie to come on, kind of just his mind.
even just listening to you two discuss about I mean, y'all have shockingly different opinions about, oh, that's a nice one, or hell no, that's low effort, or that's a child did this. That's just between the two of you guys. So there's tons of material there to have just discussions about what means what and why.
Yeah, like think of a discussion if we just even hosted a discussion. Like I know Zombie Shepherd would be good for this, talking about AI art and like the controversial hot takes that people have been taking about AI art and bringing them on and like kind of have hearing their point of view and maybe showing examples and kind of debating it almost, but like in a fun way.
I mean, we kind of did exactly the same thing on Tuesday with From A to Z. Like, we got into the art talk, and that pretty much took over. Like, I started ranting, and he was like, "All right, let's reel it back in there."
We'll create a safe space for you. Cool. So yeah, you guys kind of wrestle with that, see what comes to the top of your minds, what speaks to you. We could maybe bullshit with some more ideas if anyone else out there's got some slick names that you think for the second hour of the D420 programming where No Futuristic and Hefe are going to destroy people's egos live on the art queue.
I'll
Just drop
definitely
them and we'll
show
see.
up more for that too. I'll definitely jump in for that second half because it'd be a cool transition into the music hour. It's like we got the art roast hour in between.
To be fair, to make it fair, me and Hefe have to submit a piece of art. Not necessarily fake gotchi art, but something that we're like, this is our submission this week for the art. We can discuss this too. Put a few minutes aside to kind of critique our own stuff, so that show.
I honestly love that. That's a good balance and a good trade with the community.
Oh, I'm really bad at drawing, like epically, like probably Gary V level drawing, like if not worse.
Hey, we may all get better over time. It's probably not a bad thing for us to see what we critique. I'm happy that y'all brought up that bathroom art piece. That was worth the discussion.
Oh my god.
I mean,
made me laugh, man. Like if that was on land,
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, if there was no one else in this room, you would buy it. The way you laughed, that spoke right to you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When someone dropped that on Twitter, I watched it probably like 5 times. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, you crack me up, man. You're not alone. You got some friends there in the chat for sure. You had some notes here in new business. I'm gonna let you run all this.
Sure, yeah, I'll run through the new business stuff. So yeah, we talked about the fake gotchi card acquisitions. We're keeping an eye on them. Grab a couple for now for our own creative purposes. We can, internally maybe discuss a little bit about what we might want to do with fake gotchis, but overall, it's an open discussion. If you have something to add to that, you have ideas, or you might want to actually do a partnership commission with GMI, definitely reach out to us. The new Bounce-Skate models and our parade approach, what do we think about that? No Future, I know you touched on it a little bit. You jumped around a little bit during D420. What is your take on or what is all of our takes on the new bounce skates? How are we going to approach the parade moving forward?
I think for at this point, if people create a lot of bounce gates, we can invite pretty much anybody in because they just have to throw up a bounce gate and we all just can jump from one spot to the other, which will make this a lot easier than having people run around in the Gotchiverse or exiting the Gotchiverse and then coming back in. So I think it could be fun. It's just a matter of organizing it. Do you have a core route already? Is it still the same route, or are these parades kind of being branched off into other things? Because I think with like I have level 1 altars for Orium. That's going to be mayhem because it's 100% spillover now. So that's kind of interesting. So any parcel could be a good spillover thing because 50% before looked great, and was it 6 out of 10 of them suck worse than 50%? So we're gonna have some nice spillover. So pretty much keep it open to anybody, but make a core route and then just follow it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pass it off to Z5 because I know you did a fair bit of organization and planning around the first iteration of the parade. What's your take on with the new changes? I feel like we're gonna have a new kind of approach to this.
I know he's gonna miss the walking route for damn sure.
Yeah.
You're kidding, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. It's been a lot of work every week, and the changes all seem to happen right after I've finished making the maps. So I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
maybe
Most
maybe
of
the maps
spots,
become like Excel spreadsheet tables of bounce gates, gate to gate to gate to gate to gate routing instead of mapping at
think-
all, no geography.
no maps. If you want people to come by, just put a bounce gate up and call it out in chat. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of groups are doing it individually, but it's just a lot of work to coordinate, and it's like frustration and expense only on my end.
You could also break it down. Those core stations, like that's what we do for Orion. We just name them like A through H or J, whatever, depending on how many parcels we're going. And we just tell everybody, hey, go to A. It'd be nice to be able to organize the parcels or the bounce gates in the queue so that they're in order, but currently we can't do that. But yeah, if you name them by station and just use the core ones, and then you just kind of branch out, like in the 2 hours you have 8 stations. 15 minutes, you hit the first station, and then anybody who has wants to throw up a bounce gate and you want to jump on, that's the unofficial parade where we kind of branch off. And then we hit the next station at this scheduled time, depending on how many stations are available for the queue of parade stops.
That's not a bad way to do it. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement, so that's worth a try.
It becomes like a bus schedule.
Yeah, then you just have to. The only real overhead then is next week. It's each week just refilling the bounce gate and adding back the graphic. I don't know if the graphic saves. Hopefully that's like a feature they've implemented.
It doesn't.
It's like throwing the glitter up for the 2 hours.
So then just those stations we would have to have set every week. Either the same every week or known by at least Wednesday or whatever. If we're going to have those checkpoints.
Are people doing a decent job of like turning in their specific parcels that they want included, or is it still pretty like haphazard in terms of like regionalizing all the submissions?
There's no new ones coming in, so I'm just working with the table that was there before.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty much like the submissions that came to the forum were for that weekend's availability. So even parcels that were in clusters that were included in the parade, for whatever reason, some people just couldn't get to them, and literally most of the parcels were mine. And it was just a lot to coordinate both channeling and renting and mapping and coordinating.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think
the
way I envisioned it was a fairly low effort, on anybody's part to manage on the management end of it. Like if we can figure out a way to, I like the idea of what No Future said with tags, and it was only possible until we had this feature rolled out with the bounce gates. So what we could do is, hey, whether you're part of a guild, you're part of another organization, here's our standard template of, if you want GMI crew to stop through your bounce gate, just put up this template for one of your parcels, because we have Portal Mages, Gachi Mafia, they have multiple parcels. So if they want to just dedicate one of their parcels to GMI so we can bring our parade crew through there, we can have these different parcels weaved together. And then all we have is a schedule saying we're going to stop at for 5 minutes on each parcel through all these parcels. And we would make stops on some of our own parcels, maybe some other like submitted parcels that are really interesting, and then also have some guild parcels thrown in there. Like I'd love to make a Gachi Mafia stop, Orium Guild stop, and then these people would have our standard template on their bounce gate numbered. So we would have numbers 1 through 20, for example, or whatever. And then we would roll through there.
Yeah, see, you can see the what we use for Orium, but it's a little simpler because I'm the only one that has land that's doing it. So I just have to go to my bounce gates and then label A through whatever. It doesn't even, the order of it can change. It doesn't matter because they're all the same basic level. So if you do something like this and standardize it between everybody on the parade, then you can even make a little like a list of everything, and that just is set in stone. If people aren't available that weekend, we can always show the same list but just cross out the names or something.
Yeah, I like those ideas for sure. That's a really good graphic execution by Orium. It's a good just organization. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to that. Just on a wild, extreme on the other end. Do we think that there's enough interest in the main chat during the Hangouts that we can like raw call for just like, okay, who's got what next? We're ready. We're done here. Who's up? And someone will just step up and be like, hit my shit. I'm over here. Here's my banner. And then we just hop and just like go from vine to vine, totally freeform style, and maybe do it with as like almost no planning.
That's
I
my
like that
preferred route.
loose bolts in structure, so that like if no one does come up, that we have something to go and do. You know.
And I think between like just us here in this room, we've got enough parcels to like string them together if we wanted to, and we could hop around and just share spillover. It's kind of what I did last time I hopped in.
We could have a backup route planned, like do a free flow, like you say, and then if there's nobody stepping up, we can go back to our backup roster of parcels and just go hit the next one in the queue, whatever, and like have that wired up.
Let's try that for this Saturday. Let's try that tomorrow. And then that way we can see what it's like if we do maybe nothing, basically. And if it still works out, fun enough, then done.
Well, we also have to consider there might be the opportunity. Like, I don't think we've ever really spoke about this, but like during the hangout, there are going to be some friends who still channel on a level 2 and level 3 just because they want to channel their gachi. And there's probably going to be a ton of like, excess spillover because we've never seen 90% spillover. We've seen 50, 40%, but not 90, like 100% spillover. So the map might be quite cluttered with excess spillover depending if people actually channel.
Good day to be wandering around. Do we know, is the adventure.io map still relevant for the channeling activity?
Future was looking at it earlier. You were saying
Map? I don't know about the map, but for the lendings, they're still showing like level 2s being profitable, level 1s being profitable, which makes no sense. But I don't know.
Is the Gachiverse still doing the global messages where it's like, oh, channeling activity in District 3?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I think that kind of quietly disappeared. It
No,
used to get a report.
I think it's only in Citadel chat.
Oh yeah. There's like one chat that's like basically the in-game reports of like where the latest channeling district was.
I think it's only in Citadel chat. It used to just be in the like middle of the bottom of the middle screen, but now it's only in Citadel chat if I'm not mistaken.
Man, we might just become like a sniping crew, like as we're talking here, because we can just like watch the channeling activities and just go to those districts because one of us will always have something in every potential district, and we can just hop into these hotspots.
Well, remember, guys, we have the power of we have 3 streams going on at the same time, so we should try and leverage that the best way we can.
You saying we cause a distraction, try to get everyone to go to one other district?
Well, maybe, or just get a following going of people on screen, whether you want to be included as part of a on screen thing where we stop at your parcel, you can show it off. It's kind of a flex thing. That's kind of what I was saying before.
For sure.
Or we're going there saying, "Holy shit, there's a lot of Alchemica here. You better get your ass over here."
Oh yeah, and there's people that want to spoil like that, make it rain. Gachi and the like, bearded. There's some really nice parcels out there. People want to show off their work, especially if they're not on a roadside or. I mean, it's hard, right? How do you get people to come look at your parcel right now today? Like, there's a lot of saturation amongst those that are participating in that niche, and then B is just not a lot of easy way to get people to your stuff.
I think branding's going to become important, but GMI already has that down, so we just have to have a reason for people to show up. I mean, if we have a sick art gallery and we have some pieces showcased, that should be good enough reason for people to show up and throw some spillover down while we're at it.
Al makes a good point there too. It's a new set of actors that control supply now, going from predominant channelers to farmers should get interesting. That definitely seems to be the long-term play here, is that the farming is maybe the more stable of the two routes now, or at least the one that has growth ramp on it. The channeling seems like it's been kind of nerfed to a very linear structure now.
Well, Al was saying that the prices are volatile. Are they going up and down like that? Like I haven't really looked at the price. I'm like channeling on level 8, 7s, and 9s, so it's like just more of a all day grind now. So it's kind of annoying. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes down.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go for the
Let's do
bounty.
that.
We'll go free model tomorrow. We'll play it loose, and we'll try and just go free form, like you say. Yeah, exactly. And then we'll have a backup string of parcels. Probably whatever we have right now. The D42 parcels. I have two of them. Whatever OXZ-Fi has. My Callum, no future. If you want to throw a few into the mix, and then we have the GMI parcel that we can just say we'll always end off on the GMI parcel, so we can make a push for that at least. And yeah, I feel like that'll be a good vibe to set. Even if we can just aim for that, is we can get all of the hangouts or all of the parades to kind of end on the GMI parcel. I think that'll be a really good precedent to set. Just getting all the guilds together and whatnot. So
I dig it.
Lens NFT collects. That is the next one I wanted to just quickly touch on. I think, yeah, we should do something. While we're criticizing or not criticizing, but critiquing the pieces coming through the queue, the ones that don't make it and we find are valuable in the meme quality, or in one way or another way, they still have value and the community still wants to collect them. I think we should make an effort to reach out to those artists and see if we can either publish them on the GMI lens, or we can publish them, through the GMI smart contract, and get them just out there for people to collect if they want, and make them really reasonable.
Hefe, I'm realizing that we're all going through the evolution of the space, and in like maybe a year's time, people won't even directly interact with smart contracts, like the struggles that you've had to go through.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy, man. I would push it a step further, and I would propose that we consider activating every single piece that does not make it past the queue, and that's kind of the agenda, right? Is that like we offer a second chance for all of these rejects. We specifically target the ones that don't make it in. Like we want
Yeah.
to say, hey, you should work with us. If you want to work with us, let's figure out a path to minting.
I think there should still be some curation. It can be a lot looser, but it doesn't have to be,
I would agree.
yeah.
A second chance would be nice. I mean, you're burning a card. Kind of sucks to like. You probably wouldn't want to enter it again, right? It would just kind of deter artists from trying again.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. Is it's almost like we can offer like a consolation minting route, so that way if you get your shit slapped, then you have this opportunity to still at least produce and create and test the waters and see if you did indeed have buyer interest and show that you had a reputable success with that particular pitch, and the second time you might fly better in the queue. Because otherwise, how do you get like queue experience? How do you get like queue rep?
Yeah, I mean, I know how to create ERC20 tokens now, so we could just create a whole bunch of like GMI tokens, and then maybe not ascribe any monetary value to them, but just say here's some GMI tokens. We'll put them out there. There'll be a market to buy them, and maybe they're only dispensed through our HQ, which I'll get to. That's the next point we got to make. But maybe they're only dispensed through one source. Like we can build our own decks just for that token. And
Everyone needs to know that Hefe is just slowly rugging us into his iteration of Pepe Cash.
basically, it's GMI Pepe Cash, and you'll need like 1,000 of them or whatever. And when you burn them, that'll give you the opportunity to mint one of your pieces. But it'll be extremely affordable. Like maybe it'll only be like $2 or $3 or something in total when you're done buying everything. So you're not at a loss, and you still get your work out there. We'll promote it. We'll do all that stuff. And then as another thing, Coder Dan has already mentioned of getting other collections involved. Maybe we can, if we curate them well enough, we can even get them eventually integrated into the Gotchiverse. But it might not happen for Who knows? It might not ever happen, but it would just be a cool way to get people's art out there,
So if
and
we
maybe
did,
boost the morale.
and if we wanted to do that route, we'd probably likely need to target our smart contract for production method, because the lens NFTs are probably tougher integration objects.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. But the lens minting strategy is also really freaking simple, and it's very straightforward and very obvious, and so there are some benefits there. So there's some discussion around it, but yeah, in general, it's a good idea. There should be some consideration on how and what we pick up potentially, but that would be my thoughts on it for sure.
Yeah, I think it's something we should consider. It's something we thought about before with the GMI. I think we call them counterfakes. Working
Counterfakes.
title.
I love it.
Man, all right. It's been said out loud.
It's in the wild. It's the first time.
You guys should know that he has been crushing on this for a long time. This is a really good. We have some great ideas that come out of everyone in here, man. But Hefe delivers. Every time this guy comes up with something that you can see that glimmer in his eye, it's like, okay, this is gonna work. This is a good idea. So I'm super interested to see how all this plays out. The counterfakes, the GMI cache, all of it. You got some wild ideas.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of the ideas are things like really cool things people have already done, and I think Aavegotchi is a great place for it. So,
Man, I just love seeing that counterfakes. I think it's freaking perfect. And it's exactly the thing. It's the opposite of what you get when you get through the queue. So I think that's the exact point, is we should be the second chance for folks that don't want to burn a second card.
yeah, and it's like, hey, you know what? We'll get your art out there. It was a really great meme, or it was really tasteful artwork in one way or another, but somehow it didn't make the queue. And maybe we do come up with some standards, but they're a lot looser than what the fake rares are for constraints. And then
the kinetic gotchis would already qualify for this,
yeah, I think so.
And those will move. Like, those will move on Lens just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so maybe artists have to take it down a big notch and get humble, and reduce their income expectations on volume or whatnot potentially. But at least if they want to get some exposure and some cred and some movement, it's definitely possible.
It's a way to make collectible art for art's sake. It's like you're just making the art because you enjoy making the art. You're an unknown artist. We need to know what you're capable of before you go out there and put your artwork out there as a fake gotchi.
Let me ask you guys this too. So say we used Lens to mint a set and we did 10 editions of a particular piece. And then later on we decide that piece is worthy of like fake gotchi inclusion, or maybe it's just allow listed via direct route solicitation. Would it, like, because the issue is you can't do that with these Lens NFTs, or the integration might be tough with Lens objects. But would we be able to use our smart contract and basically mint like mirrors and just one-to-one replicas of the original Lens NFTs and issue those to the holders? And then now those can be the actual visual assets that get allow listed and put on the NFT displays in the Gotchiverse. It's just pretty long down the road. It's not a big deal. It's what's on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, Dan was saying they're trying to integrate Lens NFTs. So I'm not sure in what sense, but they're working on it.
Let's do them as Lens then. It would be my vote. We can still discuss pros and cons and come up with a little more argument around it. But just the bullishness on Stani and Ave and the push and the team behind Lens in general, and just watching all this Twitter discussion and whatnot, I just feel like I didn't even realize how kind of wild this is that we are using Lens like pre-public. And how long we've all been using Lens now, recreationally or aggressively, because it seems like it has the potential to be something really substantial when everyone else becomes aware of its advantages.
Yeah. Do you see Vitalik joined the?
I did not see that, but I have seen that the follow subscription list is like off the chain, probably for everybody. Like, everyone's account's probably getting pretty consistent follows at this stage, because now I think we're having like pretty open, close to public doors at this stage.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty
Cool.
Interesting to see what happens, especially if we see that Twitter outage in the next couple of weeks here.
Well, that's the nice thing about all the NFTs in general, right? It's all just like chronological mementos. Like, we have the timelines. The Gotcha Gang. We were some of the very first ones to explore how this shit even got used. How people could sell stuff for money. Multiple of you people have in this room have been on the top earners list of all of the Lens protocol, which is super impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear. I didn't actually know that. I'm not really active on Lens.
I think FaZe is the number one ETH transaction earner outright. Like, because not a lot of
Dang.
people charge in ETH, and he was clever enough to charge in ETH. Yeah, exactly. Lagan was top OG, and there's lots of opportunities for us to have had early victories. It's pretty neat. I mean, we rub shoulders with the Ave team constantly now. They're just all over. Our feeds just cross up. We're in the right spot, and it doesn't look like it's gonna fizzle out and die. Like it's a dumb idea and a bad project. It looks like it's growing pretty significantly.
Yeah, man. People
I
don't
got a
realize.
little alpha there. I am part
Oh,
of
drop
the
it.
yeah. I'm part of the animation curation team for Lens. So we're gonna start like there's gonna be different curation teams, and it's basically just gonna be like instead of an algorithm, it's gonna be hand-picked curation, and there's gonna be a lot of different teams. Doing
Cool.
this. So FaZe is in the creator cohort 1. I was in creator cohort 0, and then I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking with Lens as long as I can, until they start kicking me out of the Telegram chat. I'm gonna be doing shit. So
Nice, very nice. And that's kind of my long call on any platform that we're currently messing with is that we already have really good roots in early Lens use. We're all used to it. We understand the mechanics and who to watch, and so there's still so much opportunity there.
Social capital is a brand new market. Like we're at the very beginnings of a brand new market. It's like you're the first person to trade tea, kind of thing.
Oh,
You've
for
never
sure.
traded that. Nobody's ever traded that before. You're the
No,
first.
well said. Even like Lensport. I mean, that's a brand new
NFT. Yeah.
brand new front end.
Right.
Good job, man. Well done. Also, just a quick moment of reflection and a shout out to everybody here on the call tonight, because this is a huge turnout. This is not super typical for these syncopators, but I think that Zombie does a great job of warming everybody up in the Gachi Gang with that music hour, and so then we just kind of carry right over. So thanks for sticking around and listening to all of our wildins. I will say, are you happy with that discussion there, Hefe, on the Lens NFTs?
Yep. I think I just have one more point here to make is GMI is looking at putting together a funding proposal and a team for developing the headquarters UI. And, we've talked about that with John Gacci. We've showcased a little bit here and there in the last month or so, but we're actually thinking about officially putting a value proposition forward to the DAO and maybe getting a team together to build this out. So,
Man, can we build it ourselves? It's such a good product. Whatever it takes. I don't care. It's mostly a joke, but yeah, let's continue pushing this project.
I can tell you all this one too. I can't tell you how. But I can tell you that there will be a Lens integration with the HQ.
oh, there you go. That's the alpha right there.
I don't even care how, as long as it's there.
Oh, it'll happen, and we're gonna have an
I
NFT
don't know.
dispenser, and music packs, and all kinds of shit that you can buy.
Another one of these great visions come true. This is going to work out. No one else is doing anything right now in the whole space. Everyone's just curled up in fetal position. So we just got to keep soldiering onward. Keep that activity level that we're used to.
Oh yeah, just keep it going. Keep up the momentum. Definitely be doing your shit on Lens for real. It's all gonna be happening.
Be your own hedge fund for social capital. Do it.
Yeah.
You start today. That's all I got. Oh, one more.
Yeah, you
now.
have one more. You have one more.
And I got. I'm working with Notebook.ai right now. I'm building out a Gotchiverse narrative because I think GMI could be really good at creating a narrative for the Gotchiverse. So I'm looking for creative writers. Like I like writing, I enjoy it. I like writing short stories and shit. But if you want to help design the whole narrative for the GMI narrative for the Gotchiverse. So one day we can publish materials from that. I'd love to have you on that team and probably get some sort of a funding request for that eventually. But yeah, just express your interest if you want to do that.
Man, Gachi Bull's just scared the hell out of me because he is right. What happened to Friendless Summer?
Yeah,
Was he
I
real?
was thinking that today.
Yeah, I've talked to him a few months back. I think he's taking a hiatus. He's working on a big project IRL, so he hasn't had time to do any Gotcha Gang stuff, but he's still around.
All right, cool.
We'll probably get him involved with what I just said here. But if anyone else is interested,
I forget who it was. We were in the Keck Lord Hall one night talking to the crew in there, and one of them let us know that he had just finished like commercial airline pilot school. And it was just like a reminder to me of how different we all are. And like, you never know what someone's up to. So I'm at least happy that he's just taking care of stuff because you never know what people are going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
all I
Well,
got.
that's cool, man. That's good stuff. That's lots of good updates, lots of good alpha in there for sure. This is just kind of like the Mycalium to-do list, so we'll just run through this without too much discussion here. I need to get the Clifton test vouchers. That proposal did pass a while back, and we've just been super slow and lazy and just taking time to ourselves. And so I just got to get those vouchers, get those done. Same thing with the AR tokens. The market's still to our advantage here, but AR continues to show resilience and interest in it as a token. And so just in general, we want to have a small $100 worth bag of some AR tokens. Should get us about 9 or 10. The October / November artist of the month, Leonardo DiGacci. I'm gonna still push this here. See, I'm not gonna skip November outright either. So what we'll do is like we'll introduce it at Thanksgiving and do a cute. Here's what we're thankful for is amazing community artists like this guy, and then that'll be the introduction in November, and we'll just bleed it over into December and keep it on a rolling into the month schedule like that. Game Jam with Gachi Miners. What do we know here, Hefe? I know that you were playing it a little bit earlier. Poor crew, they turn the server on for us, and sometimes we get sidetracked or distracted, or we don't get synchronized, and sometimes it crashes. Have you played any time on it?
No, I was playing earlier today. I was with their dev team trying to test it out, making sure everything worked, and we were able to get one multiplayer game going before like the whole shit just crashed. And I think it was an issue with their new hosting provider for their whole site. So and it was getting close to midnight for them. So they unfortunately had to kind of just bail on it for this weekend. But hopefully for next weekend we'll have something together for that.
These type-based servers are a bitch.
Yeah, I think he's running multiple servers around the world to keep it running, keep the uptime, and like the playability of it. So it's complicated, I guess.
So what's up? Is it just like the multiplayer?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, McCallion.
No, absolutely. I was about to set you up there.
Cool. Yeah, I think it would be interesting as hell. I mean, God, if they get an actual economic layer on there and it's sustainable, might have like the first profitable mini game going on. I don't know.
Well, the good news is none of the discussion has been about whether like the game bones are functioning. It's mostly just the hosting. It's just getting the damn server up and getting the stupid app to be available remotely. Right. But like they don't seem to have any kind of concerns with the mechanics of their game concept, which is good because there's a technical element and a game design element. So at least it's just technical challenges which are solvable.
Yeah. Speaking of game design, we have Bin Laden here. I don't know if you want to speak on it or not, but you're designing a Stratagachi, which I think is a...
Oh, man, this looks amazing, by the way. Yeah, please, Alpha.
If you got some alpha.
Man, that's my most enticing kind of alpha. Freaking the suspense kills me. Okay, I know that he was mentioning some potential opportunities by joining in the Lagan Discord server. That sucker's a little bit elusive, so you gotta hunt for it. But if you can find that Dragon Lagan server, then you can get in there. And I know that there's some discussion about the test rounds happening in there.
A lot of our cards are in there too. I died when I saw the hardcore one. That was awesome.
Hey, I mean, come on, there's no gacha gang without hardcore.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, that's gonna be good to see. I'm stoked to see that. See Leggins in the chat. You might be out somewhere. Building the MVP. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll stay tuned. If you need help with a showcase or demo or anything like that, you can always hit us up.
We're just gonna become a game test studio.
We could, yeah, or we could just become a game studio one day. You never know. I think GMI is really flexible in what we can do. So
We're more of an idea.
yeah.
Right on. GMI shirts, Zombie Shepherd, just kind of harkening back to the merch drop. That stuff's useful, that's functional, and that's cool. And if you burn one on camera and send me the video, I can't tell you what you'll achieve, but just be aware of that. That matters. I like seeing Zombie's eyes darting around, going, "Oh shit, I didn't know about that. I don't like that."
No, these come in a lot of colors too, y'all. They come in like black, white, red, midnight, navy, dark gray, light gray, berry,
A lot of heathers.
pink. Yeah, I like the heathered. This one heathered. This, heather is when it's got that 70s look to it. It's got that like, not one color. It's got that faded look to it. I also got this raspberry heather one. So you can see that one's very,
Very 70s.
How do you get the shirts? If I can ask.
There's a link in the chat. I just dropped it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he just got a straight, what is it, the print on demand, just a simple digital front end.
And then we got the Zimtimo coffee mugs, and these are limited edition. Like basically, at some point, we're just gonna trade out items, and you'll never see these again.
Maybe I would buy limited merch runs of like community branded assets too. I'd buy an owl asset. Yeah, we'll have to rotate. There's zombies. Easy fodder for the carousel.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Man, them got you goodies.
We got so much good art,
Yeah, for sure. Mine runs wild. We're still doing good. And then last but not least, at least on open action, I've just got to do that consultation with our corporation, figure out specifically what makes sense. I will say this kind of leads to my next discussion. This is the open discussion topic here. I've obviously missed the last, I think, maybe 3 GMI calls. Z5 warned me. He was like, "You're coming back to a world on fire," and it feels like the last couple of weeks that I've missed have been some of the most like instrumental and critical to like setting the tone for the Gachi gang and the Gachi verse in the last while. Is that accurate amongst the crew?
I would say so. Just some really controversial DAO proposals. If you haven't seen the woodwork there, I mean, it's no wonder a lot of people are pissed off about it. I think that the spillover reduction things are super controversial, but that's just my point of view.
Fig Gachis is getting kind of cutthroat too.
Yeah.
Not quite, probably not as friendly as they thought it would be. It's turned into like incentivized anti-curation for financial gain. I don't know, it's scary right now.
There's a lot of low effort stuff too, like just people just straight up wanting to see. There's a lot of volume on that. I was surprised to see 20,000 plus ghosts has been spent on fake gachis. Like that's pretty good for a month or month and a half of just release. Like that's a lot of money floating around.
I'd be interested to see how much of that money came from outside of Gacha Gang, given some of the artists that brought their work into this and have their own followings.
I wouldn't wager more than 10%.
10%, yes. I'd say it's still undiscovered at this point.
Okay, well, what do we do? Is there something specifically that can help
There's
the overall circumstance?
I think counter fakes is our move, right?
I think that's the move
I
right
think
now.
also I'm looking here,
Nice.
120 fakes, but only 28 owners. For that 22,000 volume ghost, it's only 28 owners.
Wow.
So,
Man, you're gonna make me want to go data dive too because that sounds kind of wild, honestly. And if that's the case, then the 28, like, they all own the whole catalog.
right, that means somebody, at least one person is buying every piece.
The price of the actual artworks has to come down significantly, in my opinion. Like even I can understand Pepinardo asking for 100 Ghost or 150 Ghost, because over time, the word will get out. People will go buy those pieces for sure. He has a huge following.
I want to see a huge reduction in the edition issuance if that's the case then too.
I would like to see like more cards being burned. Just like if cards are not being sold and they're sitting on the bazaar, just the supply is getting burned to the point where the supply actually matches the price, whatever the price is of the card.
You love burning shit.
I love burning. But yeah, I would say, even if you price a card at 25 Ghost, and 25 Ghost is a decent amount during the bear market because you could buy wearables, you could buy all kinds of things. 25 Ghosts, if you sell 50 pieces, that's still 1,200 Ghost on a card you only paid 60 Ghost for, or
Yeah,
paid
dude.
nothing for. You got it for free. So
Yeah, people moving at 100 Ghost across 100 editions. That's like man, that's rough.
When I suggested the prices could come down, I nearly got laughed out of the room. Like, it went crazy. Like, you know me, I don't get into community arguments and shit. And this was the only time where it was like people were going after me, and I was like, holy shit.
this during the meetings?
Yeah, this was like right after the fake
Oh,
gachi
shit.
raffle, like right after we ended the streams. It was hilarious.
You were threatening the size of their fleece.
Oh, good, man. Like, I think we just need to focus on making the fake gachi collection a high quality collection, and over time it will get recognized. These things take time, and the gachiverse is itself, and Avagachi itself is almost undiscovered gem in crypto. So,
Oh,
we can't be
easily.
too surprised that fake gachis aren't, moving off the shelves right now.
But we just ain't got that kind of capital freedom right now between
Yeah.
our user base versus our capital distribution of our user base is nowhere near congruent.
I think the art community that forms around fake gachis will become valuable in itself if we can focus on just making really high quality fake gachi art. And then, of course, counterfakes, collect all your memes, collect all your dank shit, if you want things for safekeepings for the long term, we'll mint it for you.
Remember, it'll work both directions too for folks that either can't break into the fake gachi card barrier of entry, or if they don't have any kind of reputation but they got some talent and they want to try something, they can launch with us first on the grassroots level, opposed to trying to go specifically to the fakes and then failing.
We don't want to taint the fake collection with things that should have just been dank memes.
I dig it, man. I see it as a benefit to the space, right? Because it's obviously a little bit like the same business model as what fake gachis is overall. But I mean, this is the business that didn't get sold off their shelves, right? This is like the resale stores that sell the yellow goods.
With the Colorado LCA, sorry, McCallum, you were talking about that. That was the last point you were making. It is imperative. I think at this point, it's really important we try and figure that out. Just given some of the conversations I've had with Jesse recently, some of the potential like project partners that GMI could have that I can't really mention at this meeting, but we can definitely talk about it. I think there's a high incentive for us to incorporate so we can start actually creating some real business deals. because they're there. They're just waiting. They're waiting for us. But we have to take that step if we want to open up those opportunities.
Incorporation for Christmas.
Okay. Well, I don't know how hard those guys work during Christmas time, but
Incorporation information researched by Christmas.
I'm hoping we start 23 as a new GMI incorporated as a real entity, and internally at least discuss what our roadmap could look like for the year. Even if we're going to iterate and do it however we want to do it, we should start. Oh, that's the other thing I was actually going to mention. This is something I was going to bring up next week, but fuck it, I might as well bring it up now. Last year it did a compilation video with all these different things that Avagachi shipped, and it was like this 2 to 4 minute long video. It was just, I don't know, it was a cool gift to Gachi Gang. I think it would be cool this year if we get a whole bunch of people to compile the best moments of this last year, and I can talk to Thrax and see if we can edit, like make a really high quality video of the 2022 Gachi Gang highlights made by GMI. And
Definitely.
we can gift it to everybody on Lens. We can maybe do a 300 piece collect or something for really cheap, and just get it out to everybody. I think it'd be a cool gift.
Do it as a Christmas Day gift, and there's no limit on the mint issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run it as a 24. It just makes it limited, but then there's some lens port. It's a good idea. Yeah, just jump in front of that one so it can be ready by Christmas time, no later than. That'd be a really good target.
So I'll go ahead for actionable, and I'll start the thread in the GMI forum, and we can start just dumping our media in there that we think would be relevant, and we can start stitching it together.
Hey, I will say that Gachi Bulls is just dropping potential alpha there in chat, right? So Nuff said 10 Wagme Pepe's listing for 20 Ghost now, and so he might be taking this price discussion on the fake Gachi stock art. So maybe peel your eyes upon the marketplace. Just maybe wondering. Yeah, there you go, guys. So pay attention to that. Otherwise, does anyone in the room have anything? It's a nice 1 hour call, and we're hitting our marks perfectly. So open room, and then goodbyes.
2 things. One, I agree with Hefe. We need to incorporate and get ourselves positioned for the 2024 bull market. That way we can get us an orgy house in the Caymans. And
I've always wanted one of those.
And then we need to think about this GMI Secret Santa. We need to get the words out on the GMI Secret Santa.
Yes. Let me put that in the notes right now, because that's a great idea.
Because we got to get the word out now so that people have time to do it. So the rules on this is basically like any other Secret Santa. You sign up for the Secret Santa. We put all the names in a tumbler. You get a name back. You make a 1-of-1 piece of art for the person that you're given their name, and you send it to them. You'll be given their wallet address as well. So you make one piece of art, you send it to them, that's it. And then you will also receive art from someone else. That's how it works. So all we need to do is get like a tally form out, collect names, and get the names back out. And then it should all go well if everybody does what they're supposed to do. If someone doesn't receive a piece of art, they would just have to tell us, and then we would be like, hey, person who was supposed to send art, why didn't you send it? And we work it out.
Dope.
This is the kind of democracy I like, where you just fucking do something and tell us what's happening.
Automatic democracy.
Hey, hardcore, you getting fucked up tonight? I heard you're doing some
I'm
drinks
fucking
and
blessed,
drinking.
but like, yeah. So just in case you people don't know, this is how Gochi works. We operate on a principle of you can't stop me. And remember that. That's the rules. You can't stop me. So, like, don't be caught unawares. Like, that's the rules. So play by the rules. and find your niche. There's something you're good at that people can't stop you from doing that. Now you're in charge of it.
Well said. Anyone else? Easy breezy. Guys, I love these opportunities and calls. Slaps is in the room. Just a quick personal shout out there too. I love all the artists that submit music to the music spots. Hardcore, your stuff's wild as well. But Slaps, man, there's something about your tunes that have been getting spun here that just I really dig them. Really dig them. So just good work. Keep it up. The music hour has been really crunching it. So. That's all I've got for everybody. So otherwise, I'm thankful to be back and to have all of y'all's interest and attention on what we're still building here and the Gotcha Gang in general. It gives me a sense of peace in my heart, seeing all the kind of FUD that's flying through the overall space and across the top levels, and then kind of the top layer of the Gotcha ecosystem, a little bit of BS, but at least in here, I mean, these are the folks that care about it because it's just good stuff here, good content, good creation opportunities, good opportunities. So appreciate all y'all's commitment.
No, like for real though, you can't stop me. Like that's not a way that the world is structured. Everywhere else you go, someone will stop you. Or you think they will, and that's not actually true, and maybe this should apply to your real life too, is that nobody's gonna stop you from doing what you want to do. If you tell them about it, they'll tell you why you shouldn't. They'll tell you you can't. They'll tell you it's too hard, that it will cost too much, that so-and-so failed at it. But if you just do things and then make them a habit, you change the path of the entire flow of everything. Because you didn't ask for permission, you like apologize as you go. You're just fucking trying.
This is
trying.
This is the tagline right here, counterfakes, right? You can't stop it.
Okay, so I had an idea with the fakes, except for it's with the schematics. I think that we should just have an open queue where you can submit counter art. Like it goes like it can just go in the metadata on the schematics. But an artist's rendition of what that schematic would be in their style. And we can just attach these, and then each schematic has its own value due to the art that's attached to it. And then when you burn it, that makes there be less of these arts.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You're really good at wrapping things and embedding things.
Well, reality, fractal,
Layers on layers, man. Okay, I'm calling it. And break. Good call, everybody. Appreciate everyone's interest. Just keep bringing up your good ideas. There's no bad ideas here, just crazy ones. But we're willing to talk about all of it. So keep it up. Get out of here. We'll see you guys for the parade in the morning, or just the call. Go ahead, Hefe.
One more thing. I just posted this on Lens. I made this last night to stamp my stamp on the blockchain of culture for FTX. So I think there's like 7 left.
Oh man, yeah, that's happening.
That was kind of funny.
That's fantastic. That's a Hefe classic right there, man. Nice. All right. That's a good note to end on. Remember, guys, it doesn't take much. Look, anyone can be an artist. Jesus. So give it a shot. Post something. We'll see you guys.
Fired, sir.
We'll see you guys in the morning.
All right, y'all. See you
All right.
then.
Bye.
Peace, friends.